in a best out of 3. Every team, these 6 teams here in the Pro League, they'll play one another twice over the next 4 weeks, and ultimately, depending on the results after that, the top 4 teams will then move on to the playoffs in the brackets. That's a very short description. You can go to HonTour.com/carnage, and you can check it out for yourself if you are interested in getting more information. With that said, excited for the cast here. I am going to be joined by a co-caster today. I have the one and only Super KGE going to be joining me. How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I am doing good. I'm excited. I'm ready.
So am I. I'm pretty excited here. It's going to be a great game today, hopefully.
Yeah, you know, also we were talking about it. It's kind of funny how I've had you co-casting a little bit recently, and it just so happens you always are casting CiC versus Bad Monkey Gaming in a best out of 3. So we have yet another matchup here.
I'd say I think I prefer casting these games because these are like the best matches right now. So yeah. I'm glad I'm casting these ones. So.
Awesome. Glad to have you here, as always, Super KG. With that said, of course, you're playing with Team Excellent, one of the other teams in this event, and I know that you guys actually don't play until Sunday of this week, so you got a little bit of time off, according to the schedule. But are you ready to play in this event as well?
Yeah, I'm totally ready. It's going to be really fun to play in this event.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, but we got a match to talk about here again. Ultimately, a good amount on the line, but this is the beginning of what is our first best out of 3, and 10 matches over the next 4 weeks in total for each of these 2 teams. So we are getting it kicked off here. Let's take a look at the draft. We have Kronos into Kraken, Devour into Ophelia, Rhapsody first pick, Drunken Master response, and then there's the Sir Bensington. So actually, kind of an interesting start here. What do you make of it, Super KG?
Right now, I feel like the Bensington pick was not that needed because there's no way they have no reason to pick it up now because probably they won't pick it up on Hellborn. And if they did, I feel like they have a pretty weak starting phase in the game. Bensington is like pretty easy to do a lane against if you man up.
Yeah.
So I feel like both teams are like decent, I guess, but I prefer Hellborn right now.
Now the bans are kind of interesting too. Well, you know, you look at Devour. Obviously, Mickey, especially, he's been playing a mean Devour as of recently. Hell, you've been on the cast, and we've seen just some crazy hooks at what he can do. Do you think it is at that point where, if you're BMG here, it makes sense to ban that Devour?
Yeah, sure. Like, I don't feel like there's much other heroes that you really need to ban right now. Kronos is one of the heroes that I really don't like playing against. It's like really annoying. So I understand that ban. I guess you could ban out maybe Parasite instead, but they feel like Devar is the one that needs to get away, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's been interesting because, again, not only with this Carnage and Caldivar, excited for just a big event ahead of us as far as a lot of matches and whatnot between the top teams, but this is also a first major event post the 3.4 patch. Where, again, a lot of balance changes happened, and now that there's actually a good amount on the line here, it's going to be interesting to see how things adjust over time. You know, still, I still think we're kind of in that place of teams are going to go with what they know is comfortable for the most part, but changes starting to happen, and perhaps by the end, it'll be even completely different as it tends to take place. But I was kind of getting at the jungle situation. Milkvat was making the point. Jungling kind of mixing up a little bit over the qualifiers as far as, you know, your Solstice and Legionnaire maybe even stepping up. Ophelia not as strong. Do you think that's going to continue to shift as far as the jungle goes?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be, like, I feel like there's a lot of new junglers going to be coming in soon. I've noticed like there's people trying out new junglers in TMM a lot, like even Swiftblade and whatnot. But I don't know how I can see that in competitive scene. But I feel like there's going to be new heroes coming into the jungle scene, hopefully. So
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Have you guys been talking about it? Team Excellent? Got any strategies? Not to show them by any means, but
not really. I don't think so. No, we haven't really been scrimming yet. So
all right. We'll see how that goes moving forward. But we have finished it off as far as the first part of the draft, of course. Torturos was the response from CiC. You had Magnus then coming out for BMG, and then Gauntlet to finish things off for CiC. So what do you think of that Magnus pickup especially?
The Magnus pick, I think he's one of the few heroes that's actually pretty good against Drunken, because he has like the Drunken ulti is like no use against him at all. So I feel like sometimes when I played Magnus, I felt like, or when we were in the picking stage, and I said like, Magnus is a pretty good hero against Drunken, and sometimes we went with it, sometimes we went with something else, but I feel like he's one of the few heroes that I really prefer playing against the Drunken Master.
Yeah.
So I think the pick is great.
All right, and then again, Gauntlet to finish things off for CiC, so they got that hook hero still, and it's going to be fun to see, probably end up in the hands of Mickey, is what you would expect. The bans now following up here with that said. Sandwraith, Puppet Master, Dr. Repulsor, Parasite then coming out, so seems to be more along the lines of carry-heavy ban so far, and then the Parasite thrown in there as a jungler, so making sense to you?
Yeah, I think it's okay ban so far. Warbeast also is one of the few new heroes that I kind of been starting to see now in the jungle again. So in TMM that is. So, but I feel like he could be played in jungle and competitive scene as well now, as he has like a very big jungle farming capability right now. So.
Yeah, the several changes, not only with the creeps being changed around and whatnot, but again, his Hellhounds did get buffed up even more to really kind of push towards that. It's like, Warbeast, you're a really good jungler, you can be. Maybe that's where you should be instead of a suicide lane. So it seems like there's more and more of that, at least, idea. Slither, the final ban from CiC. Where do you think BMG goes here now?
Not too sure. They can do pretty much whatever they want, whatever they feel like. Bubbles is still open, but I don't think they need one in Bubbles here because they already had Bensington and Magnus. They might go with something carry, maybe Moon Queen open, and then go with the defensive tri-lane. I'm not too sure. They can pretty much do whatever they feel like, so let's see.
Well, they are right-clicking the Soul Stealer here. That, you talk about AoE synergy, it definitely would be good, especially with him with the Magnus, and even Engineer being right-clicked. So we'll see what BMG ultimately ends up with. 22 seconds remaining here on the extra time. Speaking of that, only 4 seconds remaining for CiC Esports, so they're going to have to go pretty quickly here as far as their decision-makings for these final 2 picks. But Wretched Hag is going to be the choice so far for BMG. It's lining up to perhaps be more of that short lane Hag in the end. But that also makes it interesting in terms of either they're going to finish off with a tri-lane probably, or maybe still go that jungler. I mean, Tempest is still on the board as a possible jungler, as well as those other ones like we talked about, the Solstice, the Legionnaire even, could be options. So,
with their picks, I don't see Legionnaire would be that good. Like, he needs to be a very defensive play and just farm up, but I guess it could work because they have pretty much like rotating heroes pretty easy, like thinking as TP if they try to go for the Legionnaire in the jungle, so I guess he could work out. I feel though they would probably go with the Solstice here. That would have been great for them.
All right, they're right-clicking Defiler. That would be someone we have not seen in forever on a competitive match, so something tells me probably not going to happen, especially with the synergy to the lineup, but wouldn't really make the most sense, at least in my opinion, but yeah, so you maybe liking the Solstice for a jungler option again. Could be maybe even another support here to go more of an aggressive tri-lane perhaps, I guess, if that's the direction. But we're going to find out here shortly. Okay, there you go. So it looks like maybe tri-lane here.
Yeah, they might actually go with it, or they might even send the Wretched Hag Suicide and go with the dual lane mid and have Bensington short. That's the feeling I get right now from their picks, but they can go with the tri-lane too because they just picked up N4 on Hellborn. That means they want to be having a dual lane mid, dual lane top, and a Suicide Drunken probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they should man up because Nymphora is pretty weak, but Torture is really strong though.
So yeah, you think that Nymphora pick was a good pick in the end for CiC Esports?
I think it was a perfect pick in my opinion.
Okay.
It's going to be making them be very active in the mid game. Also be able to farm up the Panda pretty easy, taking stacks out and just giving him mana whenever he needs.
Yeah.
So I feel like the pick was perfect.
Yeah, Pandemonium really one of those interesting heroes, especially if you get him something like that N4, of course, with that mana pool, can constantly regenerate it quickly, then he can not only do a lot of farm with those stacks, as you're pointing out, but it can be very, very deadly with very minimal farm, really. He can put out some good damage, as we know. So, definitely, with that said, kind of some interesting pickups here. Not Pandemonium, we see him every now and then, so it's not that crazy. But, I mean, Riftwalker is definitely a little bit more of one we don't see too often. Going to be the hands of Hanskin here. As far as a support hero goes, so more of a secondary support, of course, in this case. Now, as far as the lanes go, so again, you're kind of maybe leaning towards a short lane Bensington, but, I mean, they even got the Magnus down there right now for BMG.
it seems like they're not gonna go with what I said. They're gonna go with Bensington tri-lane. I'm not too sure how big of a fan I'm that, because I don't think that lane is gonna win no matter what. Like, if Hellborn is just gonna be active and be aggressive early on, there's no way they can be in the lane like when they hit level 2. So I'm not too sure how big of a fan I am after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is definitely something perhaps a little unexpected here, if that's what they ultimately go with, and they are most certainly shaping up for that. So Limp right now just restarting here most likely, so hopefully we'll be back shortly, and then good to resume what is game number 1 here again of this best out of 3, the only match for today. But again, 4 days a week there's going to be matches, whether it's on the weekday, on the Tuesday and Wednesdays we got the 1 match, but then on the Saturday and Sundays it ranges from either 2 to 3 matches depending on the weekend that are going to be taking place here for the Pro League. So again, a lot of coverage, a lot of content going to be coming at you here over the next 4 weeks, really the next 10 weeks if you consider both the cycles, as well as the playoffs obviously in between. So Limp reconnecting here, should be good to go. As far as where CiC Esports is going here, right now they got the 4 heroes at the top side, and of course KZU playing the Drunken Master. He's headed towards that suicide at the bottom lane. Nothing surprising there by any means, but yeah, definitely interesting to go with a tri-lane Sir Bensington if that's what they ultimately do. I mean, the way Rhapsody's chilling right now, I don't know, I almost want to say maybe even a 2-1-2 setup here, with Rhapsody making her way bottom after she wards up, perhaps.
Yeah, they might do that, but then there's going to be even worse lanes, in my opinion, because then there's going to, like, I feel like Gauntlet is going to win mid against Hag. That's something I'm pretty sure of.
Yeah.
And bottom lane, I feel like Magnus could win the lane, but Drunken Master has the upper hand. So I feel like that is a pretty even lane. So right now, I pretty much favor Hellborn with his picks. You know.
Okay. Well, Rhapsody is going to head towards the top lane, so sure enough is going to be that Sir Bensington tri-lane up here. So you see how CiC Esports going to respond. They got Nymphora, Torture as their supports with Pandemonium here. So it's definitely going to be, as usual with the tri versus tri lane, possibilities for a lot of action. Riftwalker and Rhapsody making their ways into the jungle right off the bat. So I don't know if they're looking to do some switch up here. No, they're going to block the pole camp there with the Rev Ford, but also just keeping the supports out of the jungle if that's where they would be. So it's kind of interesting hearing, though, that you said Gauntlet versus Hag. You would expect Gauntlet to win this match. Why is that?
I feel like Gauntlet has so much burst damage if he just gets levels, and that's when he's gonna get here mid. And as soon as like he hits 3, if he can get a Infernal Blast, okay, he's not maxing it out. Then when he hits 4, he's gonna be just using his Infernal Blast and hit him all the time.
Yeah.
And that's gonna bring him so low, so he won't be able to stand in the lane. Because if he gets a hook onto him, and then Infernal Blast at level 5 right after, Hag is dead.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Okay.
So,
it's ridiculous damage, yeah.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of damage.
It is a lot. So that possibility is there for Mickey playing the Gauntlet if Fuzi is not careful. Now, top lane, there was a little bit of action there. Pandemonium taking some good harassment. He hasn't leveled up any abilities, though, just yet. And, I always find this interesting when we see cases like this. He's simply sitting on the points, waiting for the situation that calls for him. Maybe whether or not they're going aggressive or defensive will determine what he's going to level up, perhaps. But choosing to sit on the points for now. And then the bottom matchup you were talking about, Magnus versus Drunken. You think, if anything, that might be an even maybe for Limp? Or?
Yeah, I think like Limp is going to be doing okay if he maxes to a Killing Touch.
Yeah.
But Kezus should win the lane overall.
Okay. Top lane again, a lot of action back and forth, but no kills necessarily coming at it. Nymphora is going to be doing a pull right here, but it's going to be blocked, or just doing the pull on the creep wave. Okay, only gets the Warlock in the end. So not going maybe as well as support was hoping for right there with that pole camp. But how is this top lane going? I mean, 12-3 Bensington versus a 10-1 Pandemonium. So not too bad for either side. Is it going as expected, or?
Nah, I feel like Hellborn is way too afraid. Like, they don't even try to take fights at all. Yeah. They're just sitting there and trying to farm, which is not what I want them to do. I feel like Nymphora and Torture should be able to rape Riftwalker and Rhapsody if they go out in the jungle 2v2. Mm-hmm. And if, like, Bensington runs there, there's Panda should too, so.
Oh, here we go. There's Bensington going under the joust. Miss for the damage part, and now she sure Bensington might be in some trouble. Cannibal set on Rhapsody in the background. Bloodlust kill going in favor of BMG, but there is a response on Rhapsody as Lapped gets credit for that one, and it might be 2 for 1 if Bensington is not careful right here. He has Joust coming up. The chain reactions connect, but Pandemonium not comfortable chasing. He is out of mana, so cannot do much else in the end. So good decision to fall back right there, especially with boots on Sir Bensington. So again, though, Bloodlust kill in favor of BMG. A big dive right there, too. With that said, behind the tower. And they're going for Pandemonium now. This is going to end up in a kill cascading event, pulling him in. The slow's coming out right there. Pandemonium, a couple auto attacks away. Lancelot doing some good damage. Rhapsody trying to get in range. Puts out a Disco Inferno. Going to do no damage, though, as he was continuing to move. Trying to get staccatos, but look at Pandemonium doing a great job of line of sight right there. And Rhapsody is going to be counter-killed. And a response. Riftwalker also going to go down. This dive is proven to be costly for BMG. Will they at least get Pandemonium in the end? Sir Bensington really wants it, but now he realizes, wait a second, I'm in a lot of trouble myself. The Platypus running away right here. The Sealstone lands. And he will be fine to the end, but wow, BMG diving big time, and that backfired right there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they were doing there. Like, they noticed CiC couldn't reach up, so I think they should just went back there. But they went for the big dive and paid it. No, didn't really pay off.
Yeah.
They dived way too much. And also, I'm not too sure why Nymphora is not going Grace of the Nymph. She's going the Volatile pod. So they won't have much mana up there.
That is interesting.
Pandemonium was out of mana the whole team fight pretty much. He just ran around, did nothing. Went once or twice in the Grace of the Nymphs. He would actually be able to use a Cannonball or Troll too. So.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if it's one of the situations where, oh, middle lane actually, there's the hook, the Gauntlet Blast coming out, Torture's there, but you look at that Infernal instability as you were stressing their Super KG. Gauntlet just doing so much damage. Even without the chain reactions, I still think could have been a kill right there on a Wretched Hag. So, good execution on the part of CiC Esports, and now Gauntlet's definitely winning that middle lane matchup as, well, both the creep farm and now that hero kill says. So, yeah, big start right there in favor of Mickey, and definitely expect him to be active sooner than later, especially if this pace keeps up. But you talk about, yeah, Grayson, that makes you wonder if maybe he went the Volatile pod in a kind of heat-of-the-moment situation, figuring they need more damage or just that heal at the last second. But yeah, you would think Grayson the Nymph just makes so much sense, especially in the setup here. But for whatever reason, doesn't have it. Needs to be careful, though, as they are going to be coming out. So what do you think of BMG, even after what happened with the dive? I mean, they're still continuing to play pretty aggressive here at the top side. Should they look to change things up or just continue to go up here?
I don't think they can change it up with their team setup. And I still don't know why they're not playing like offensive Hellborn, that is.
Yeah.
They should win the lane no matter what. So I'm not too sure what they're doing really, but here mid lane, it's going to be a kill and has.
Yeah, there's a back and forth. Bottom lane, there's also some action between Trunken and Magnus. Trunken's going to stagger away. He will be fine. Gauntlet was definitely looking for a turn kill right there, but in the end, Hag and Riftwalker falling back. But here we go. There's the Gauntlet Blast. He got it before the blink, and once again, the damage is too much. So Fuzi just not able to react. I mean, he was living life on the edge in the first place, though, knowing that Gauntlet Blast was most likely up. So costly decision there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he was thinking there, because he kind of saw the Torture and the Nymphora was there already with the ward. No, okay, never mind. That's Hellborn's.
That's the Hellborn's ward, but still.
Yeah, I still felt like he shouldn't be playing that like offensive, because Gauntlet is going to be able to kill him all alone until he gets the steep boots.
Yeah. Ooh, bottom lane. Limp going down in the short lane there. They've been playing back and forth, and actually at the top lane we do have some more action, though. Rhapsody's going to be blocked in right here. She puts the Disco Inferno down, hoping to stay alive. It's not going to happen, though. The impalement and everything else just doing too much damage. Sir Bensington, he's just sitting on the outskirts, but CiC Esports really making some statements here. Up 7-1 in hero kills now, and now Wretched Hag might need to be a little careful. Casey's going in, actually, with the lunge back. Will he chase? Yes, he will. He has a power supply, and the auto attack to finish off Fuzi, so not going as planned at all for Bad Monkey Gaming right now. Across the board, CiC Esports is just looking so strong, and it's just going to get stronger, apparently. Nice stun in from Magnus Eruption. If this gets off, this could be huge. There's the one kill. Nymphora is also going to fall. Now Pandemonium in trouble. The Joust going to be dodged right there, but that forced him to go back into the Legion team, and most likely Pandemonium is going to go down. So finally, signs alive for Bad Monkey Gaming, but look at Gauntlet. Is Mickey going to go YOLO right here? That would be pretty crazy. It looks like maybe not. Okay. Wow, though. Okay, if it wasn't for that, I mean, BMG would just be getting rolled here, but at least they fight strong at the top lane. Big stun for Magnus.
Yeah, big plays for Limp there. He made them get back in the game pretty much here. I'm not too sure what Fuse has been doing this game so far. He's been like running around, doing things that he doesn't need to, and oh, that was lucky.
Well, that was a reaction more so right there. Double damage turn activated by Gauntlet. And in the end, it's going to continue to farm. But so that's when it's at that distance, you do have obviously a little more time with the travel distance to be able to react to it. So good destroying right there for Wretched Hag.
I think Mickey should start off with his hook there, because that's a lot faster, and there's no way he's going to be able to blink away from it, and then use the Gauntlet Blast afterwards. Then he secures a free kill.
Okay.
Yes, something.
So just got a little antsy there, going for the kill, but yeah, just out of range. They're trying to use a cascading event to maybe pull in Gauntlet right there, but in the end, just out of range, so he is going to be fine. Wormhole not ready just yet for Riftwalker. Still needs to hit the level 6 mark, and obviously only level 5 for the time being. But the supporting cast here for BMG, they're spending a lot of time in the middle lane now. They are addressing, or they want to address this Gauntlet clearly, and make sure that he's not going to continue to free farm as he's been doing. But this means Pandemonium especially is going to open up now. So it seems like BMG forcing themselves to make this change that you were kind of talking about. It's like it's not really ideal, but you know what can they do here? So they're in that situation.
I'm not too sure what they should do here. Team fight going on top lane.
Maybe they're chasing. Maybe a Bat Blast is going to go for it right here. Not even necessary. Soda Scream doing enough right there to finish him off. So. Okay.
Yeah, support didn't even try the stun there. I'm not too sure why not. He could have saved him if he just did his stun. So
yeah. But choosing that, it's still not going great to the Nymph, man. Wow.
Yeah,
level 3 volatile paw. That is very interesting. So he's assisting with some good damage, I guess. But is that worth it? Ooh, that Zeal stun completely whiffing. The back end hits though. Good job with the movement there. You look at Jonas Fan, he knows they're out of stuns now. Are they? Yes, they are. The lunge was not up yet. It's a good getaway from Jonas Fan. Pandemonium not getting there in time. As he just TP's in there. But yeah, level 3 volatile pod. That's not something you usually see on your Nymphoras, but going for that here. Middle lane again action, though. Rhapsody's going to end up going down. She was trying to assist for a torture kill, but it cost her life. Gauntlet grapples and Magnus actually. I don't know if that's the target he wanted right there. And Magnus actually going to send it now, setting up the eruption. Will it go off? No, it will not. The chain reaction stops it. The volatile pod heel coming out. Magnus going to be forced to sit in the steam bath. Will he be finding the answer? Penzington's like, I'm here, bitches. He jumps in, takes out Torturer. There's the lunge, and eventually the kill on a Gauntlet. And now Drunken Master, he needs to stagger away, as not much else he can do. So the numbers in favor of BMG when it's all said and done. And, you know, this has definitely been just a crazy, chaotic game here. But I must say, BMG is starting to make a bit of a comeback. The stats are getting pretty even now.
Yeah, I think it's a bit because Hellborn is taking stupid fights over and over. They should not be trying to take team fights in the 5 vs 5. And that was even 5 vs 4 because Pandemonium did decide to keep farming instead of TP. I'm not too sure why I didn't TP, but he decided to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And that made them cost a team fight. I'm not sure if it would help if he TP'd, but I think they should just like try to get pickoffs more instead of trying to team fight.
Well, so I want to go back to this Nymphora here and kind of get your thought. If the game, I mean, the game is a very active game right now. There's a lot of kills happening, a lot of team fights, ganks, and whatnot. In that sense, do you think you could justify really going for the maxing out the volatile pod, or do you just still think the Grace of the Nymph just makes a lot more sense?
Grace of the Nymph makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. It makes you being, like, if I would like to see this build if he went only once in the Nymphora seal, and then maxing out the volatile pod after he has, like, maybe 2 or 3 in the Grace of the Nymph. Then I would more like the build, because then they could be able to stay in the lanes all the time.
Oh, middle lane wormhole initiation, call it, the heel coming out though, the grapple away, gonna be fine for now, and down goes Magnus. Protective Melody was even used right there. No, that wasn't used, that was just Disco Inferno, but in the end, Sir Bensington, he just said they really want this kill, but again, they're diving way too much. Down goes Sir Bensington. Wretched Egg will finally finish up, but at what cost right here? Wretched Egg in trouble, the Burst Heel coming out, the Cannibal Stun gonna miss. Can she blink again? 5 more seconds, no she cannot. Lunge in, and down falls Wretched Hag. It is a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of the Hellborn team. But again, you look at where those kills were happening. BMG just getting very tunnel vision here really wanting these certain kills, and it's costing them.
I feel like also here, I think they did really good on Hellborn. Like it was also pretty unfortunate for BMG because they all was almost they were almost everyone there already when the teamfight started out. So I feel like that was pretty unlucky for them, as I didn't see them. But I think CiC played pretty good there. They returned the kill on the Magma straight away, and at the same time, because they thought they were going to man up BMG, that is, he went in with the ulti from Jonas. So that was just pretty unlucky from him. And I'm not too sure why Hag would sacrifice his life to get that kill. That was also something stupid.
Yeah, really dive in there and obviously figured he could get away, but it was not going to happen. The execution was there for the Legion team and easily picking up the kill at that only level 2 blink, so 10-second cooldown, not enough to be able to blink away again. A couple of things to point out here. One, Energizer picked up by Drunken Master. So, and I think we talked about this the last time we casted them. He went for the same thing, and you may not have been a huge fan of it. Do you think it makes more sense here, or still not a huge fan of it?
I think it's okay. Like, last game was also okay, but I feel like you should go with the Shrunken first here in this game, because they have only magic damage pretty much.
Yeah.
So if you get a Shrunken, he's going to run around freely and just pretty much hit whoever he wants. So
yeah,
I think he should just go with the straight Shrunken head. But the Energize is not bad. It makes the movements a lot better. But I don't know. It's okay.
It looks like KZU DCing right there. He was trying to fall back, and probably for good reason in the end. The Legion team was actually coming over for a gank, so almost maybe even a blessing in disguise if that's what happened. But should be good to go shortly here. It happens, the hiccups. Portal key situation. Where are we at with that? We got Gauntlet currently about 1,000 gold saved up, so it's probably going to be next in line for him. He's got plenty of build up from the power supply to full steam boots, of course, to Mystic Vestments on top of that. You talk about the magic damage, so Mystic Vestments, a good investment here.
Yeah, for sure.
Magnus is not doing as good maybe as far as it close to that portal key, but he's going there next. He does have 600 gold saved up, so we'll see how that comes along. But level 6 is, and in 4 especially too, again, she is level 7 now, so she's had that teleport. I don't know if she's used it yet or found the opportunity, but especially when Gauntlet gets that portal key, perhaps look for that activity, or even with the Drunken Master. Obviously, it could be a very, very good synergy. So, do you think CiC Esports should be looking to play more aggressive with that Nymph4 now, or are they fine with the pace of the game right now?
I think they're fine for now. When they start getting towers, like maybe all the outer towers, that's when they're gonna shine with the Nymph4 pick, because they don't have much to be TPing in there, Legion Denners. So I think they. Yeah, there's a dead Seal Kid.
It's like no even point to commentate that. It's just a dead Seal Kid. Oh, actually, there's a little more action, though. Get down here. Yeah, Drunken Master going for Riftwalker, but actually there comes the joust in from Jonas Fan. Saving the day initially. Untouchable is active. You see the hook coming out from Gauntlet. Not able to do enough, though. Down goes Drunken Master. Bad Plus and the stun coming in. Here comes Sir Pezington back, and Torture is going to fall. So you speak it up, maybe a little too much chase right there. CiC Esports falling victim to that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they were thinking there, because they would be safe if they just kept running right, but they decided to turn around like twice or 2 or 3 times, and then just made BMG to catch up there. So
obviously doesn't work out in the end, but yeah, middle lane, Poor coming in, denying the tower right there from making it started off. Can Pandemonium get an initiation? No, he cannot, and it didn't help that Gauntlet decided to grapple him backwards there, so was hoping maybe to synergize with them leaping in perhaps, but not able to connect right there. Gauntlet, a little bit of action with Bensington, but they'll both walk away from one another as Bensington got the rune before him. So action definitely continuing though. Again, these two teams really just going at a Cascade event out of range in Amphora, but BMG, all 5 are together currently. Will they look to push or will they continue to farm is the question. As they are grouped up mid. Reginag not the most mana though, and she doesn't have the best cooldowns here. Bad Blast still about a minute cooldown, so probably not going to push. She does start to fall back. Lex Talionis on Amphora. What do you make of that?
Not too sure. I think you want to Nymph TP with that and just use the minus armor thingy on the target they're going for with the Nymph TP.
Yeah.
So I guess that's an okay item. as I don't see he's going to get anything else for quite some time, as he's the main support right now. So I think it's a pretty okay item here. Also, I feel like BMG are pretty much just now waiting for the level 11 on Hag and the PK on Magnus, and then that's when they're going to go.
Yeah. Oh, well, this may get it right here. Yeah, he's going to eruption on a triple stack Ancients. Okay, not just about. A couple of them were taken by other heroes, but almost there. I only need 100 more gold, and then he will have that portal key. And that's perhaps going to be the timing for BMG to make a move. But yeah, look at Wretched Hag's build. Going the Sackstone here. As far as the first item, you are dealing against a Pandemonium and a Drunken Master. There's a lot of physical damage here on the Hellborn side. So, you know, it makes sense. It does mean, though, her presence of the Light Brand, eventually Grimoire, obviously is going to be delayed slightly here because the item decision and the farm just really hasn't been the best. In the end for Wretched Hag. But so Portal Key on Magnus. He does have enough gold for it now. If you're BMG right here, do you make it happen? Is this where you're like, we have a decent chance now? Do we look to force a fight, or?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be doing right now. I think they're just going to be region up, get ready to start a team fight. This is the time when CiC needs to be like ready to know that they have this. So they need to have like lane wards where they're going to go gank.
Yeah.
And try to set up a counter kill first before anything happens, and then they can't really do anything. As you can also see, Gaunt just picked up his portal key. So they're kind of like trying to set up something as well. But if BMG is there already, that's going to be a massive team fight for BMG, because there's no way, I don't think they're going to be able to win the team fight if there are 5 of BMG already there.
Gauntlet looking around for something, but not going to get anything there at the bottom side of the map. Pandemonium top lane, it's almost as if they wanted to make something happen, but not going to go for it, and probably for good reason. You see Wretched Hag porting up here. It looks like BMG is going to start coming together now.
Yeah, they're fine now.
Yep, they are. And Pandemonium. Oh, he just cannonballed there, but he's going to run immediately. Realizing quickly, Sir Bensington, okay, they want to force this, man. Pandemonium is going to be caught out. The TP's coming in. Can they save him in time? The heal in the last second. The heal, and no, Pandemonium will fall, but it's all said and done, but a lot was used right there. In comes the protective melody. Sir Bensington turning it around. No buyback from Pandemonium. He's had gold for it, but he's not going to do it. Magnus does it with the eruption, and down falls Gauntlet. A double tap for Fuzi, and now they're going to push to the top tower, so they really extended right there for that kill, but it does pay off.
Yeah, I think if just CiC would react sooner and keep it straight away when they saw the Bensington ulti coming in,
yeah,
I think they would be able to turn the kills pretty fast, because he had a portal key already on Mickey, and he was the last one who TP'd, so I think if he just TP'd like straight away, I think that they would be able to turn the team fight and got the 2 kills on Hag and Magnus straight away. But as he was so late, I think, yeah, he was just a bit too late, and then BMG like made a perfect team fight there.
Yeah, I was really looking for that buyback on Pandemonium. I mean, again, that's one of those split reactions. You got to just go for it right away, like we see especially old Stay Green do. But not making that decision. Flint's Master choosing to just sit on the death, and ends up being double tap, and obviously BMG gets some good momentum there in the big picture. So. He does have a 2,000 gold saved up, though, with that set on Pandemonium. So, what are you looking for? I mean, you mentioned a Shrunken Head possibility earlier on Drunken. You think Pandemonium first time Shrunken would make sense on him, too?
Yeah, I feel like he needs to. They have way too much magic damage, so I don't think there's an argue about what you should get on Hellborn. I think there's Shrunken Head is the main item to go here.
Support not afraid to do his own thing on what he thinks is best. Oh, middle lane! Magnus got hooked in initially. And Gauntlet, doing most of the work, and then Drunken Master comes in to finish it off to make sure to get the kill onto Magnus right there. But that started with a big hook from Icky, as we've seen many times before on a limp right there. And getting the guarantee kill. As a result, are they looking for another? No one there. But I was going to say support playing the before. We talked about the Lex Talionis earlier. He also gets that new Ion Stone, which currently actually has a double damage rune on it with 3 charges to pass around and use if need be. So we'll see if that perhaps comes into play maybe with this push right here. But I say support, though, again. He's known for doing these different kind of items. The Abyssal Skull I know he likes in this case. The Lexion we've seen before. They're going to push the top lane here, it looks like. I wonder if BMG is going to react or maybe just counter-push themselves.
By the looks of it, I think they want to counter-push.
Yeah.
I feel like CiC is going to be getting more out of this, because if they can try to push mid as well, I think they're going to gain a lot more. Slimp is trying to set up something top, but I'm not too sure if they have the glyph already or not.
For how much action there's been in this game, we're up to 22 minutes now. There's another tower kill for BMG, but still no tower kills for CiC. And yeah, here we go. Top lane, Pandemonium going to be jumped on. The Seal Sun stops the ultimate there from Magnus, but it might not be enough to save Pandemonium in the end. He's trying to maybe get a cannonball off. He gets it off. Will it matter, Sir Bensington? No, it will not. He just smashes down, and everything wrecks around him. So the defense, I guess, is successful for BMG. Not only that, but they did get the bottom tower. The top tower is killed, though, by the Hellborn team, actually. So that's the one sign of life there, I guess, for CiC Esports.
That's also something whenever I play with BMG. I was almost every single time when we tried to do something like they did right now, set up a counter gank on the tower, and then I was almost every single time I said to my team deny the tower, it's way more worth. They never did, never.
Yeah.
And still they don't.
Want the hero kills, damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Denying a tower is a lot more worth, in my opinion.
Yeah. At least scare. And they could have, I mean, everyone didn't need to kill the Pandemonium right there. So yeah, perhaps at least one, if not two, should have been on the deny duty. But in the end, it is killed by the Hellborn team. So, you know, again, a small victory there for CiC. Yeah. In the big picture of what really happened, though. A couple of things to know here. One for me is Nymphora is still not really, I don't think she's used teleport yet. And, you know, that's really a big reason you pick up Nymphora. Not to state the obvious here, but for that presence alone, and especially being active with it, and hasn't been able to find the opportunity to do so as... Oh, bottom lane, this is interesting, actually. An Invis Hag spots Gauntlet. If Mickey goes even a foot up right here. I mean, Rhapsody's here, so what do they want to do? They maybe bait? No, they're not going to just yet. They have numbers coming over there. The Water Side's going to spot them. Wretched Hag's like, we got to open, maybe get Nymphora. It's not going to happen, though. We'll be fine. But no Fireblade level 2 picked up by Sir Bensington, by the way.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what that's going to be removing.
It does remove, Gauntlet abilities, like Infernal Instability, I think, and Gauntlet Blast, I would assume it purges off on your teammates, perhaps, but...
I don't see it's worth getting.
Yeah.
I guess he just wants the mana burn on Pandemonium because he has solo mana.
Yeah.
That's okay. I guess the mana burn is okay in itself, and the slow from the purge is also pretty good. So I guess it's okay item. Also gets a lot of attack speed, so he's probably gonna go Basher next item.
Yeah, I have seen that item before. Yeah, I saw the quick play picked up, and I was thinking maybe even a Staff of the Master wouldn't be out of the question on him. But yeah, going more the damage assisting build and perhaps even solo kill build, you could say, with that No Fire Blade. I think it's those opportunities. Bottom lane, not sure what Riftwalker all the way down here by herself. That's never usually a good situation, especially as a secondary support. And, well, ends up paying for it as loses her life. But yeah, let's also talk about the tower situation. Still, even with that top tower kill, it's 25 minutes in now. CiC still only has that one tower kill top, even with all the action that's been happening this game. So, interesting to note right there. As far as where this game is at, you think, oh yeah, what's going on here? Foozy, oof. That was close. Little dangerous situation to be in, but he does survive. You got shrunken heads now on important heroes. Both Flensmeister and Kazu have shrunken heads on their Pandemonium and Drunken Master. So, you know, like we were talking about earlier with the portal key on Magnus, is this now, if you're CiC, you're like, okay, we're ready to fight. We should look to force fights, or are they comfortable maybe playing the farm game here?
I feel like they have late game, so I think they're not needed to be taking fights, like forcing fights.
Yeah.
But they should take fights if BMG do something stupid, of course.
Yeah.
They can just keep farming the whole game pretty much. Keza just suicided.
Maybe? No, God, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Oh, yes, he will. Sir Bensington also coming in at the last second.
But they got the tower.
Yep, they got the tower. That's exactly what you were talking about. There's more action up here, though, actually. Gauntlet gets jumped in. Pandemonium, by the way, bites back. Can he get here in time to make something happen? Riftwalker goes down. Gauntlet will go down. And 1-for-1 exchange. Pandemonium, he's going to be no fire blade. There's a shrunken head. And he's just going to TP out. What was I saying? That was actually... Drunken Master was the one that died, so never mind. He was still dead. The Pandemonium did not buy back. He was just there. But he gets picked off. Torture is now in trouble. The Joust just out of range, but it doesn't matter. as Torture still gets burned down. So the big situation right there, again, BMG, it pays off for them. Sure, they lost the tower bottom, but they do end up getting 3 kills in total. And, I mean, look at the stats, though, overall. This is still saying it's a very even game with where we're at right now. Do you think that's the case?
I think that's the case right now. I think also the one reason why BMG is doing so good now is mainly because of CiC, because the wards, as you can see, they have vision wherever they want, pretty much. There's like, they want to have vision mid, they got it. They want to have vision bottom lane when they're trying to set something up there, and they're blocking their Asians really good and everything. So I feel like CiC is doing a really good job this game. Like they can just go and gank wherever, because they see like where the whole enemy team is all the time. Because I know CiC, they like to have one guy farming on each lane at all the times, so then they know where they are all the time.
Yeah.
And Flensmeister is known for being farming in the jungle the whole game. So
yeah. Grimoire power just finished on Wretched Hag. So Fuzi's farm throughout this game hasn't been the best, but it's starting to get pretty solid now. 380 gold per minute. Has the Grimoire, is level 16. So that's, again, a very, very good mark right there to hit as far as her presence goes. Tablet of Command finished by Magnus as well, coming out for the Legion side. Tablet's good to have against these Hellborn heroes, definitely. So another solid option to see for them. And again, Bensington, he's got the Energizer now on top of that level 2 Nullifier Blade. Seems like some very solid items are coming out here across the board for Bad Monkey Gaming and what they're bringing. But, you know, we talked about the Shrunken Head pickups on the 2 heroes especially, but next in line you got to figure it's going to be the big-time damage amplifiers, something like the Soul's Bulwarks and whatever else. So you almost say BMG again, maybe not on a strict timetable, I guess. But the sooner the better as far as making things happen.
I do agree with that. The other thing, like, if they get a sheep stick on Hag, I think that's like one of the really good items then when they're gonna get it, but that's kind of far away, so
yeah.
This is the time for them to shine, I think. The only thing they want is, I think, level 16 on both Limp and Jonas, and maybe 11 on Hanskin, and then they're good to go.
So more farm continuing. 2,800 gold on Mickey here. So again, I wonder if he's just going to go for a straight-up Shrunken Head himself or whatever else. I am a little surprised, again, as I was mentioning, to not see a Soul's Bulwark here on the Hellborn team especially for the physical damage that they are putting out. But Drunken Master and Pandemonium, both ideal candidates for that. If it does call for it. I think
Drunken Master is the one who's going to be picking up right after he gets the money for it.
Yeah.
Pandemonium is probably going to go for a PK or a Null Stone.
Null Stone. Those are dangerous words to say. Or words that we haven't heard for a long time, I guess.
I feel like Null Stone and Drunken is one of the main items in Pandemonium.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
Yeah, it was, and I think it still is, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Like, he also could go for a Shield Breaker, but I'm not too sure how I like that. Like, it's not going to help him survive if they get a jump on him. So, I think they just need to be surviving the initiating from BMG.
We'll see what he does go for him. And he's sitting on 2,800 gold, so got to think a lot of people sitting on a lot of gold here, more so on the Hellborn team. And the way I thought they were going to start pushing, because I was going to say that might be a poor decision if they do that with sitting on so much gold. But they are just going to kind of play in the ancient vicinity, waiting to stack it at the 31-minute mark, it looks like. And then perhaps farm it. I still don't think we've seen a teleport used by Nymphora, by the way. And again, I know that's just that's not necessarily his fault, like him just not doing it. It's just because of where the game's been played, he hasn't found the opportunity. And they've been playing more of the farm game in the end. But that's still crazy to think, and Nymphora hasn't used her ultimate in 31 minutes of this game. True. But
like, I don't think I've never seen this before. I think you always see it like once or twice at least, but let's see. He might do it sometime soon.
Yeah, well, so again, a big reason why you pick up the hero. I mean, the presence alone is strong, but actually using it is important too. Middle lane, yeah, Drunken Master. Can he get away in time? Serpent to go in a nice Shrunken Head just before the joust, though. The tablet for the Energizer. They're unsure if they want to chase. And probably the better decision to not chase, but they use nearly everything as far as resource TPs and whatnot to get to set up that gank. He is unsuccessful. He did use a Shrunken Head at least. And now they're going to try to push middle here. I think they're going to get it.
I think they can defend that pretty easy. They don't have Magnus ulti nor the Bensington ulti. So.
Yeah. Well, they are going to fall back. Yeah, BMG just not confident. Rhapsody wasn't there with them, so that doesn't help either. And the bottom tower goes down, though. So that actually, Rhapsody was pushing the bottom tower the whole time while they were investing into defending the middle lane and ended up setting up a tower kill for her group wave to push. So that actually worked out decent.
TP.
Yep. Oh, did she? Oh, holy crap. There we go. Top lane. Is this going to result in a kill? Sir Pensington, maybe? Energizer? Yes. Just out of range.
Oh, poor Nymphora.
Well, they used it at least. They reminded BMG that they do have that ability. So now, got to be weary of it. Abyssal Skull, though, on Sir Bensington makes sense here.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. The armor is like really needed against the Hellborn team, as they only have physical damage, except the gauntlet.
Definitely making sense. Soul's Bulwark on Drunken Master, so finally see that. Again, though, a lot of gold being pulled. Even Torture is joining the party of 2,100 plus gold saved up. His items don't make the most sense here. Major Totem and a Mighty Blade. I assume he's just going to go into a Shrunken Head now with the way he's saving up. And maybe that was a change of heart, but...
I feel the Tablet is really good here on Torture, though.
Yeah.
Like, you could go with it first and then the Shrunken Head afterwards. Or you can just go the straight Shrunken, I guess. It works too. But I think I prefer a Tablet here, because I don't think there's going to be any focus on him in the teamfights.
Well, there's the full Shrunken on Gauntlet, so they have 3 of them now, and even possibly a 4th again on Torture, if that's what he does choose to go for in the end. So, yeah, definitely making a point that they're aware that BMG has a lot of magic damage presence, and it's not going to change. I mean, it's not like a team that starts out maybe magic and then adjusts to physical. No, this will continue to just be a magic-heavy damage team on the Legion side throughout the game. So obviously, again, the Shrunken Head's making a lot of sense here. Mystic Vestments as well, as we do see pretty much on 4 to the 5 heroes at least. How about that pickup? Axe of the Malphite, just purchased by Pandemonium, actually. So I guess a straight-up Behemoth's Heart here is what we're going to see next.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one, because he has way too low mana pool right now. He's not going to be able to run around freely in team fights if Bensington like hits 3 or 4 times. He's going to be out of mana if they use like Cannonball and Flick or something.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be kiting him because he has like no movement speed, not really much mana, and like no movement at all pretty much. I don't like this.
Yeah, it definitely seems like getting set too much on the mindset of I need to just tank and survive in these fights rather than some good damage and forcing the Legion team to play on their back foot. But we'll see how that works out in the end, going that straight up Behemoth's Heart. So again, these items are starting to progress. But you talked about it earlier. If this was going to prove to be a farm-style game, maybe be in the favor of CiC Esports, and that's where we're at, though. It's been more farming-style game here. But, oh, look at that pickup, actually. Nullstone on Wretched Hag. I don't know if I've seen that forever. Oh, Magnus, by the way, going for a kill on the Torture. There's the eruption. Torture out of mana as soon as he stuns in. Nymphora's TP. Can he get her in time? Maybe? No, he cannot. The Tablet gets the kill, but at what cost right here? Magnus going to sit in the steam bath. He's going to be stunned out and everything. Wretched Hag, though, in the background. She's still going to clean up. Nymphora's going to fall. Sir Bensington jumping in. So that worked out beautifully for BMG when it's all said and done. But wow, a Nullstone on Hag.
I think it's pretty decent pick up this game. As they don't have a PK or anything on funds, there's no way it's going to be able to remove the Nullstone and then ult to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good pickup here. The only way they're going to be able to kill him is if Gauntlet and someone else removes his Nullstone straight away before Gauntlet jumps in. Because Gauntlet doesn't have the time to remove it by himself. Also, he needs to use his ulti if you want to remove it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wasted in my opinion. So I like the pickup here. It's very big.
Yeah, it does make those gap closers abilities that the Hellborn team has less effective. Obviously, they need to remove it before they're able to use it across the board. So, in that sense, it does make sense. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. We never see Soulstone nowadays. Or, not Soulstone. We never see Nullstone nowadays. And if anything, you were saying maybe on Pandemonium, but it ends up being on a Wretched Hag. That does mean, though, no Sheepstick. I mean, obviously a lot of gold invested into this Nullstone and passing up a Sheepstick, at least for now. So you still think in that sense it works out, or?
I think it works out. Yeah, like it seems like they're pretty confident going late game. They're gonna be getting a cheap stick on Magnus here. If not, he also gets a null stone, but I'm not too sure if he does. So it seems like they're pretty confident going into the late game.
Yeah.
They probably want to get a Conger before they actually try to push the base. Then I think that's what the enemy teams needs, like or both teams needs. I mean,
Yeah.
the Conger kill right now.
And they are going to have a sheep stick on a Magnus, it looks like, coming up very shortly. 3,800 gold saved up. On top of already having the Blessed Orb, so I think if I do my math correctly, he actually should have enough for a full sheep stick here, just depending when he goes back to base. Or whenever he wants to purchase it. The Brutalizer finished on Sir Benzitin. You talked about that earlier, the possibility at least, and sure enough, he does have it to follow things up. Yeah, I'm wondering if something like as far as the next pickup here for Wretched Hag, could you almost say, instead of a sheep stick, maybe like a Frost Fuel plate? Oh, there you go. He buys the plate mill.
Yeah, I think it's a very good pickup here too. Yeah, it's just the armor. That's the only thing he needs against the enemy team, pretty much. So
Yeah.
I like the pickup.
Yeah, Frost
The
Fuel plate.
Nymphora TP, second one.
Oh my gosh, just warding. Nymphora TP, ward aside placed, and is gonna Homecoming Stone back, I think? Yeah. There we go. So we definitely see that strategy whenever we have an Nymphora, TPs to certain places just to get a ward side down aggressively and then eventually falls back. Drunken Master, just cleaning up some illusions there, is going to be fine. Working on a Demonic, never mind, has a full Demonic Breastplate here, as it just got delivered. So it has that. They have a full Behemoth's Heart on Pandemonium. Again, 2,700 plus life, and also assisting with the damage, being the Strength hero, of course. So is hitting pretty hard with that said. Gauntlet, he's got his full Shrunken. But again, the Legion team and their presence here, even with just the play mill and Wretched Hag, he's still caught. I mean, that really bulks him up a lot as far as his tankiness here. They really wanted to find somebody in this jungle, but it's not going to happen. Pandemonium already teleporting back to base before he gets caught. So it seems like BMG has continued to have kind of the control of the map here as far as their movement goes. But CiC's doing enough to evade it for the time being. And you were talking about Kongor, so you think BMG maybe could try to set up a Kongor and even bait them out here, or is it just not? Is that too risky?
I think they need a pickup before they actually try to go for Kongor. They don't really have anyone that can tank the Kongor really effectively, so they're going to be taking a lot of damage if they go for it. And then if CiC comes in there, maybe even hook out someone there or something. I'm not too sure. Top lane.
True. Oh, here we go. They finally find somebody. Drunken Master going to be locked down. Gauntlet comes in. Will they be able to save the day? No, they will not. Drunken Master will fall. It's all sending down. Magnus dropping low. But they're going to check the melody. Immediately stopped though by that Zeal stun. Sharking heads up all over the place. Joust going in. But Sir Benzitin just does a lot of damage as well on top of the magic damage with those physical auto attacks. As you see, down goes Torture. 3 heroes are dead. Pandemonium was not even there to help, unfortunately. And BMG ends up cleaning up 3. So now this is what you're just kind of talking about. Do they even go for Kongor, or do they just push in right here? There's no buybacks. So they're just going to go for the push. That could be it.
I was watching Panda the whole fight, and he was just running back and forth.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if he wanted to go in or not, and I think he needed to. As you can see, they have no buybacks. It doesn't matter if he stays alive or not. There's no reason for him. Like, that was the team fight they needed to win. If they lost that team fight, they're gonna lose 1 Rax and Kongor. So I think he did really bad mistake. They're not even trying to go in. Like, he was just sitting there next to the edge of the team fight, running back and forth. Decided if he wanted to go or not. But yeah, they don't even go for Kongor. That's all.
Yeah, they decided it's we're in a comfortable spot. We're not gonna risk the Kongor. They are just resurrecting and don't want to give them that chance. Pandemonium, kind of funky right there. He actually cannonballs into the trees and teleports out. It's almost as if he was looking to jump Wretched Hag, but that would have been absolute suicide if that was the case. So yeah, Flensmaster just gets out of there, but yeah, no doubt him kind of being indecisive there of not really sure what to do. Definitely in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. And again, they were playing that game of really trying to find somebody for the longest time, and they finally did. So it paid off in the end. And now you see the item progression. Look at a couple of pickups here. Void Talismans on both Rhapsody and Riftwalker. Big pickups against this Hellborn team.
I think it's by far the best pickup they can both get on this team.
Yeah.
like they're going to be able to survive the team fights. There's no one who's going to be focusing them at all, except maybe the torture AoE damage. So I think it's a great pickup.
Just makes a lot of sense. Rhapsody is like, I'm just going to farm middle lane, don't mind me. There's not like there's anyone camping me or anything. CiC's not going to fall for it. They're like, it's just too good to be true, especially at this point. So yeah, CiC falls back. They're not going to bite on the bait right there. And try to continue to farm for the time being. But, I mean, even after that, to me at least, it still feels like CiC has a chance here. I mean, the golden experience that is pretty solid here for BMG. They do have the middle racks down now. But am I right to say that CiC still isn't has a chance at least?
They still have a chance, of course. I think it's just they need this one pickup on someone. And then that guy they're going to be able to kill, I think he's going to have a buyback for sure.
Yeah.
So they just need to get back off and then get ready for a team fight and back off a bit and then turn around. I think it's like something like that. BMG needs to be like very aggressive and make some big mistake. That's how they're going to get back in the game. But by the looks of it, they're just going to do it safe and get combo.
Yeah. I was going to say, they have the wards up and everything. This is going to be an absolutely free Conger kill, and that really is going to put make it very difficult now, extra difficult for CiC Esports to start that comeback if at all possible. 5,000 more gold saved up on Sir Bensington, by the way. He's buying something here. There you go. He buys a full demonic breastplate. He actually sold the Energizer to simply make room for it, if anything. So he has a full demonic breastplate now, at least on the way. Not here just yet. Ideally, we'll probably try to wait for that if possible before a fight takes place. But you also can see it kind of Disco Inferno off to the side, just making sure that no one's there, especially with that Nymphora presence on CiC Esports. So this could possibly be the final push right here, pending if CiC Esports is able to make that hold.
I'm not too sure if they are actually going to be able to make the hold here.
Yeah.
I feel like BMG is a bit ahead, especially now when they have the token. I can't see them losing a team fight here.
Pandemonium front lines. Again, he is pretty tanky. Maybe not your ideal target if you're this Legion team, and they know that, but you even see off the bat some good damage coming out. Riftwalker doing his stuff. Rhapsody's passive is maxed out now, by the way, too. That's something else to keep in mind. The Arcane Hymn, I mean, that's not something you see too often come into play, but it's not the biggest radius at the same time either, so it's not like it's constantly working, but still, it's something that's, I'm sure, Wretched Hag especially can take benefit of every now and then. As far as, healing her up and everything. Here we go, though, maybe. Pandemonium taking some good damage off the bat there. Bensington, he's going to be stunned himself. Pandemonium's going to take the sheepstick, dropping low. No fire play comes out with the Purge. He's going to survive for now. Will finally fall. Sir Bensington gets pushed in. He may go down. Never mind. Protect him out at the last second to save the day, and he is going to be fine. Magnus is like, guys, I'm going back in. Here we go. Oh, the shrug of the heads, though. He did not stun fast enough. They go off, and they are going to survive for now. Wretched Hag taking some decent damage right there. Stun in the background to Rhapsody. Gauntlet wants to finish up, but can't even do that. Wretched Hag using that Frostfield play. They're all clumped up here for the Legion team. Sir Bensington using his ultimate to come hammering down. He will die, but he's going to come right back up. That is going to do it, though. GG, well played. Game number 1 of this series, and of overall, the Carnage and Caldor Pro League will go to Bad Monkey Gaming over CiC Esports. What a game it was, though. I mean, again, very, very even, especially with the stats up until the situation in that jungle there, especially where Pandemonium or it was actually a Drunken Master, I believe, got caught. And then they were indecisive if they wanted to go or not, and, well, the end followed after that. So, what a game, though, Super KG. Any final thoughts on game number 1 there?
No, not really. I think BMG played a pretty bad early game, but then they caught up and did really good late game. Like mid-game, late game, and CiC did play pretty. I think they played okay early game, but then the later game went. I think they played worse and worse, in my opinion. Like they didn't feel like they played together as a team. I think they just did too much farming alone and stuff like this. Like they didn't play as a team, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, you also remember, again, the beginning of that game, that was really, BMG, the laning situation did not work out too well for them. They were falling. They were down like 9-1 hero kills, I believe. Earlier on, it was starting to pull away a little bit, but then there was that top situation where they poured it in, they set up some counter ganks, and at least kind of slowed down the pace, and then eventually, obviously, able to do work in the end. So, again, congratulations, though, to BMG for taking the first game. But with that said, it is a best out of 3 these are going to be throughout this whole regular season here cycle, round robin, whatever you want to call it, over the next 4 weeks here between these 6 teams in total.